In between the stretch of road connecting Rome and Sullivan, Wisconsin, thousands assemble.
Look at the big fish.
We got some nice looking floats today. You're going to enjoy it.
They watch and witness something in between madness and genius.
What is that?
Lunacy and laughter.
Somebody got run over or something. Who cares?
Anarchy and artistry.
It's not a normal parade.
If you consider Dan Boss an artist,
It's showtime.
then his paintbrush is his bobcat.
Faster, slower. Now you might have to just lower it a hair once it gets up 4 or 5 feet. Back her up.
If you'd call Boss a sculptor,
Looks nice.
then he's welding or melding machinery
Killer.
into a not-so-perfect piece, ready to roll out on display.
PVC pipe that's all haggard. A Batmobile car.
Double-decker school bus, huh?
Oh yeah, I forgot there's a pontoon boat on top too.
Welcome aboard the maiden voyage of the Big Johnson. Welcome to the 2011 Junk Parade.
It's amazing how much junk people have.
Something you don't see very often.
There are dozens of floats, each with a theme.
This is Junk Vegas.
Welcome to Junk Vegas.
Formed from a calamity of clutter, cocktail of adrenaline, engineering, and alcohol.
There's a little bit of beer involved always.
A mix of machismo, mechanized machinery, and did we mention alcohol?
A lot of alcohol, mostly alcohol.
We'd like to tell you this display is dedicated to the responsibility of recycling, but
It's about being irresponsible.
It's just about having fun.
It's the most fun we have all year. That's how boring life is around here.
but the community gets a return on their refuse.
It's a good way to raise some money.
Funds collected here go to the Sullivan Area Chamber of Commerce and local first responders.
Oh, look at this.
And firefighters are about to earn that cash as a Ford F-150 disguised as a big mouth bass catches fire.
A fatality?
Bass is gutted,
Casualty.
but this fish gets hooked on a line and towed away fine. Success is sometimes measured in merely getting to the end of the parade.
I'm a betting man and I have confidence in my junk.
To make it to the finish line. If we cross there safely, we'll be fine.
But it's a junk parade. You never know what they'll do.
Redefining the phrase art is what you make of it. Proving one man's trash is another man's pleasure.
Looks almost beautiful.
Jeremy Ross, Fox 6 News. Roses rest on the doorsteps of a Northside home. The siding singed by fire, the debris charred by flame. But the damage to one mother and daughter is beyond description.
The family is just tore up. I mean, we're just in so much pain.
The two asked we not show their faces on camera, instead asking us to show 39-year-old Marlon Booker.
He was a great dad. He called me every day. He came and seen me every day.
His daughter last saw him Sunday.
When he became missing and not called her for 2 days, we knew something was wrong.
Police say Wednesday they responded to a house fire on 49th Street near Hampton. After the fire stopped and the smoke subsided, investigators discovered Marlon Booker's body inside. He was shot several times.
I've been trying to stay strong for my daughter, and it's been very hard for me. It's been very hard for her.
Booker owned a rental property in the neighborhood, and he may have been interested in buying the vacant home. Family is certain the fire was intentionally set.
I don't know of him having any enemies or anything like that.
But they remain unclear about what motivated the murder.
We have no idea why he even ended up missing.
I hope they get caught.
I hope the police find who did this and justice is served and they pay for what they did and how they hurt our family.
The film from 1968 shows glimpses of protest.
They were burning draft cards.
Demonstrations surrounding the war in Vietnam, and on November 21st of that year, President Lyndon Johnson was in the White House. And a Milwaukee trio was in custody. The newspaper called it a slaying. Then 18-year-old Melvitine Lampkins and two others played a part in a grocery store robbery. The article described gun whipping and shots fired. One man apparently did not move fast enough for the robbers.
Took a sawed-off shotgun and shot him in the chest.
Who shoots a 78-year-old man in a grocery store?
It was point-blank range. He put the shotgun right to his chest and pulled the trigger.
78-year-old John Adornato was shopping with his wife.
He was a gentle soul. He was a lover of people.
He was rushed from the area of Buffalo Center to a hospital. The intern at the emergency room knew there was nothing he could do, and that intern just happened to be one of Adornado's 11 grandchildren.
It took us by such shock.
Another of his grandchildren, Celia Dodge, describes the impact of the murder.
It devastated them. It really did. It broke the family apart.
The robbers were caught and convicted of the crime, including Melvitine Lampkins.
She was the lookout for the robbery.
Michelle Herrings of the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force says Lampkins was sentenced to life in prison plus 60 years, but was given the chance to attend school during that time. Lampkins took advantage of the opportunity, and Herrings says she escaped in 1976 and somehow managed to escape again in 1979.
Her whereabouts and activities have been unknown since.
How could someone be missing out of a jail cell, out of a prison for 30 years?
Yes, I think they deserve an explanation.
I'd like to point a finger. I wouldn't know where to start.
Lampkins has roots in Milwaukee and Madison, and at the age of 62, she's managed to avoid law enforcement spotlight. But for how long?
She will have to pay for what she did.
A crime taking place during a time of unrest and conflict. The fugitive bringing additional unrest to a family decades later.
I don't feel vindictive, but I do feel she needs to be found.
It's pretty swollen.
A hand hacked up.
That's just a comparison.
Fingers frayed.
Me touching that, I don't feel that. I can feel it on the other side, but just not that side.
And the cuts.
Then there's that one.
Keep on coming.
There's that one. My entire arm got numb and cold.
Jordan Lass was slashed multiple times.
It was like a quick sting, like if someone were to pinch you or something like that.
He was surprised by the attack, but the weapon used was equally as shocking.
A samurai sword, that's just ridiculous.
Lass was inside this Village of Sullivan home Monday when police say an uninvited visitor, 18-year-old Robert Marquardt, walked in. Lass says he was hanging out with Marquardt's ex-girlfriend. She moved on. Marquardt did not.
He was just insanely jealous.
According to the criminal complaint, Lass received 5 lacerations and other injuries requiring 19 stitches, all caused by a weapon described as a blunt-edged sword.
Like maybe that.
About 4 feet long.
I was bleeding out.
Pictures show the injuries following the attack, with fresh wounds tended to, cuts that could have been worse.
I feel lucky to be alive.
Court documents say shortly after, Marquardt was taken into custody and confessed to the police, a crime described as anything but dull.
I hope he goes to jail for a really long time.
Lass says it'll be about 2 weeks before he's fully recovered. If convicted on the charges, Marquardt faces up to 41 years in prison.
401, 402, and 403.
Okay, if you could take her to the corner and back, please.
It's very competitive.
Hi there, cutie.
Third dog down was one that won yesterday.
In this battle of beauty.
Okay, next, please.
It's understandable how some
It's very political.
could become beastly.
Oh, that was a cute shot.
She's a little bit on an angle, but I think it's okay.
Where's the monkey?
That's a nice dog Tiffany has.
But there's something about Sandy Rolling's disposition, mirroring the gentleness of the golden retrievers she's grown to love.
Oh, I know. Good girl. It's a good Peanut. Always upbeat, always smiling.
She says, I look like Peanut.
More than a year ago, she showed off her own canines, but running around the ring
It takes a lot of stamina.
is not an option.
I was diagnosed in 2001 with lung cancer.
She's a very tough lady. And very positive.
I was cleared after 4 years.
I cried a whole lot, but in front of her.
And then this last year, I had a pain in my hip, and I thought I just twisted it, but my cancer had metastasized to my hip.
She doesn't play the why me game.
I couldn't. No, couldn't.
Chemotherapy took all of her hair, but it's growing back. The disease and surgery took most of the mobility from her right foot, but she's taking steps to once again show in the ring.
It keeps you going. It gives you something to, it's a goal.
She probably doesn't realize she makes us all strong by how strong she is.
Proving a pack mentality can include loyalty and kindness.
How do you not care about somebody like her?
Even through intense competition.
These are happy tears. Yes, they are. Very much. They're very grateful tears.
We've been friends for a long, long time, and we always will be.
All my friends are here, and they're great.
Best in Show gives someone a title.
And that's first, second, third, and fourth.
Hoping to show gives one woman purpose.
It's a good therapy dog right now.
And so much more.
I'm accepting nothing less than a full recovery.
Send your dog.
Maybe she has a disease that's bad, but she teaches us all how to live.
Jeremy Ross.
Finish.
Fox 6 News. Of all the steps taken,
one can take Downer to Maryland,
of all the blocks covered,
Farwell to Maryland.
In the effort to find a missing Milwaukee man,
it's really important that we find him.
one couple's search has taken them
We'll cross to that corner
well over 500 miles.
From Nebraska? Oh,
just to be here.
The trip from Lincoln covers about 9 hours for longtime friend Tony DeGrand and his fiancée.
Are you the honey?
This is my fiancée, Bridget.
Very nice to meet you.
It's part of the effort to comfort a family and find 28-year-old Tom Hecht.
Tom's gonna be one of our groomsmen in our wedding.
Counted about 55 people here so far.
If I were in the same situation, Tom would be there for me.
We're glad all of you are here today.
Dozens take part in the effort. Groups are sent across portions of the city.
About 2,000 flyers were printed and donated.
They post missing signs and hope to find clues where Hecht could be. He was last seen Saturday at Rosie's Waterworks off of Water Street as part of a bar crawl.
Tom and I've known each other since middle school.
DeGrand and his fiancée searched the neighborhood where he once lived with Hecht.
Take care.
Yeah. Let me know how it goes.
Both attended UWM. DeGrand says he couldn't stand by in Nebraska and just watch the search effort. And as day turns to night, a growing number of friends and even strangers feel the same.
He's definitely out there somewhere. It's just a matter of finding where he is.